Somewhere out there, a flame is struck that cannot go out. A child is born who rewrites history and never dies. A leaf falls, alone and lonely. Yet the wind decides not to catch it. Possibility is the shimmer at the edge of the actual, the glint of what could be, even if it never comes. We live in the present moment, but it is like a wind that carries the seeds of the future. Every path untaken is still out there somewhere, echoing silently in the darkness of the unknown. Possibility is the space between what cannot be and what must be. It's wider than either one, and far stranger too. If there were a sign that said, "You must be this tall to be possible," the height indicated would be infinitesimally small, because to say something is possible is simply to say that it is not conclusively ruled out by logic, by physical law, or by context. It may or may not actually be true or manifestly real, but such is not strictly impossible. But there are different kinds of possibility. Some things are logically possible. That is, they don't involve contradiction. For example, it's logically possible for there to be a planet made entirely of diamonds, even if there isn't one, and that would be physically very unlikely. Some things that are logically possible are physically impossible. Though unlikely and unwise, it is nonetheless physically possible for a person to run a marathon without ever having trained for it. But it's not physically possible to outrun light, because it is physically impossible to exceed the speed of light. There's also something called metaphysical possibility, which deals with what could and could not exist at the most fundamental level. Could time have flowed backward? Could the variables of physics have assumed different values than they in fact have? These questions push the edge of how we define what's possible at all. Philosophers speak of possible worlds not as fantasies, but as frameworks, ways of understanding how the world could have turned out differently. In some worlds, you never pressed play. In others, the internet was never invented. In others still, there was never a you at all. Finally, there is a species called epistemic possibility, which is related to what we can and cannot know. Due to inherent limitations in subjective apprehension, even something which is in fact logically impossible may nonetheless retain its status as epistemologically possible, because we cannot know for sure that it is in fact what it appears to be, that is, an impossibility. Possibility matters because it defines the range of things that can happen. This means the kinds of things you can aim for, aim to avoid, or aim to understand. Without possibility, we'd be stuck with only what is. no room for imagination, change, or even freedom. So, possibility isn't just a theory. Instead, it's the invisible backdrop of every decision, every risk, and every dream. Possibility is generous. It multiplies. It makes room for escape, change, and for hope. But it's also sobering. Not everything that can happen will. Not everything that is possible for you. And yet, we still reach for it. We channel possibility every time we imagine a different outcome. Every time we choose to dream of a better tomorrow. So, ask yourself, what lives just beyond the edge of what is? And are you brave enough to reach for it?